GamingBolt presents 15 video game bosses that can be killed with just one hit. Being a boss isn't easy, especially in video games. Along with incompetent minions and plucky heroes who want you dead, you might have to deal with other problems like potentially dying in just one hit. Which video game bosses suffer from such a curse? Let's take a look at 15 of them below. Bosses. Titan Souls. This one's pretty obvious, but only because the concept of Titan Souls is such. Basically, every boss, and yes, every single boss, dies in one hit. The catch is that you only have one arrow in these fights. Oh, and the player dies in one hit as well. The overall challenge is in figuring out where to hit said Titan in order to kill it. Bowser/King Koopa, Super Mario Bros. The OG of bosses that could die in one hit would be King Koopa from Super Mario Bros. Thanks to a conveniently located axe behind him, you could collapse the bridge Koopa is standing on, sinking him into the lava. Of course, this was usually before you learned that the princess was in another castle, so maybe Bowser got the last laugh after all. Duels. Call of JUAREZ Bound in Blood. Forget how your guns function all throughout the rest of Call of JUAREZ Bound in Blood. When it comes to boss fights, everything turns into an old-timey Western duel where everything can die in one hit. While they're nice and cinematic, we kind of wish there were boss fights with some more mechanics involved. KALLE Demos. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. About 14 years after the release of The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker, it was discovered that one of the bosses, KALLE Demos in the Forbidden Woods, could be slayed instantly. How? Well, complete the quest to obtain the forest water, which is traded in for a heart piece, and simply use it on the boss. Voila, dead. Final boss, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. If you trade in your shovel for the boomerang in The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, you can use it to one-shot the final boss. There is a catch though. You have to use the boomerang on its open eye to score the kill. That'll show those who think the hook shot is a much better use of an item slot. Bed of Chaos. Dark Souls. The Bed of Chaos is one of the more frustrating encounters in Dark Souls because there are plenty of ways to fall and die. Even if you destroy 2 orbs to open the boss's core, it will lose all of its health in one single hit. It's honestly tougher than it sounds when there are branches swiping at you and a collapsing floor to deal with. ADAMANTOISE, Final Fantasy XV. Touted as one of the hardiest bosses in Final Fantasy XV and requiring days, or at least hours, to defeat, ADAMANTOISE can actually be insta-killed. However, this feat can only be achieved with the Ring of Alterna, which has a low chance to proc an instant kill on an enemy. Naturally, after it was patched, someone used it to kill the boss with way too much HP. Of course. PONTIFF SULYVAHN, Dark Souls 3. It's amazing what a single parry and tons of buffs can do to a boss in Dark Souls 3. Take Pontiff SULYVAHN, considered one of the toughest bosses in the game, who fell to this approach by YouTube user Neptunius Quester. Players theorize that the Warcry weapon art from Yorm's Great Machete, the Sunlight Sword buff, Dragon Torso, Red Tier Stone Ring, and a boost from Morian Blade are the primary reasons for such awesomeness. IWAJIRA, Borderlands the Pre-Sequel. Roid damage multipliers are often some of the best ways to deal massive damage in Borderlands, but Borderlands the Pre-Sequel takes this to ridiculous heights. The raid version of IWAJIRA can actually be felled in one shot by equipping the Inflammable Shooting Star. Unlock Nisha's 3rd degree skill next to boost melee damage by 160% after each kill, kill some smaller enemies to build stacks, and simply whip him once your shield is broken. Now, get to farming. Margwa, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies. The Margwa can be pretty annoying to deal with in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies, but they're a good source of cash. However, if you fancy one-hit killing them, simply unlock the Pop Shock's Gobblegum, obtain it from the vending machine, melee it once to trigger the effect, then melee it again for an instant kill. The downside is that you only get $500 for killing it, and there are better options for Gobblegum slots. The End, Metal Gear Solid 3. There are so many ways to bring the end to Metal Gear Solid 3's The End that it's kind of funny. Along with straight up sniping in the boss battle or letting him die of old age, it's possible to kill the End instantly in one of the earlier stages. Hang out near the docks till a soldier wheels him in, take out your sniper rifle, headshot him, and you've got one less future boss fight to contend with. Ancient Dragons, Skyrim. Despite their overpowered demeanor and how easily they can wreck beginning adventurers, it's not hard to one-shot ancient dragons in Skyrim. Basically, you need to become a stealth archer, benefiting from high sneak, damage modifiers, and a powerful bow. This will allow you to pretty much one-shot everything else from hiding. Ancient Wyvern, Dark Souls 3. A joke among bosses in Dark Souls 3. For real, not even in a Soul of Cinder so easy sense. The Ancient Wyvern can be killed instantly if you take the high ground and perform a plunging attack on its head. You need to navigate past several enemies and arrive just above the Wyvern's head, besides timing your attack appropriately. But one hit is all it takes. The Didact, Halo 4. Despite his grandstanding, the Didact in Halo 4 makes for one heck of an underwhelming boss fight. With Cortana restraining him in the climax, it's left to Master Chief to plant a grenade in his chest. This is followed by the Didact stumbling into the slip space corridor beneath the Composer, and you thought skipping the 3 Wardens was anticlimactic in Halo 5. Lucian, Fable 2. The battle with Lucian in Fable 2 is so anticlimactic that complaints about it are actually referenced in Fable 3 boss fights. There's a lot of build up to the battle, especially when he kills the hero's family, but you simply shoot him, or one-shot him with another weapon to kill him. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.